Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? How are you today? Yeah, awesome, awesome. We're gonna work our bonds. All right, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm glad I'm working. Yes. My favorite is the like 90s hip hop dance move slash like chicken dance. That's like the only dance move I can do anymore. Oh, hey, Lynn, how's it going? How are you? How are you? I'm happy you're here. I'll be right back. I'm going to mute myself. But I love you and I'm glad you're here. I wish I could too, but I can see you in my mind's eye. Hi, everybody. This is Audra coming at you from Studio Blue. Welcome to Pilates Sculpt. We're going to take a lot of the same concepts of Pilates and integrate it with a lot of full muscle work. We're going to add some squats, lunges, planks. It's going to be a good time. We are going to use some weights today, as well as a mini band. However, if you do not have access to a mini band, you can either use a TheraBand or some really stretchy running pants, and you can MacGyver it, or you can just entirely ditch the prop. You don't need it. So if you're using a TheraBand or the stretchy running pants, you can just tie it around your legs. Like the gift that you are, just tie a little bow. And there you go. It will be a little bit looser, so you're welcome to take it down a little lower. I feel like between this and my mic cord, it's going to be too much for me to contend with, so I'm going for the mini band itself. We're going to start standing. We're just going to do a couple roll downs to begin. So nod your chin, hollow out through the front of your body, and roll on down. And then scoop and roll it all the way back up. And of course, remember, if anything doesn't feel right in your body, I don't want you to do it. And down, and then scoop and roll all the way up. Last one until we come into our quadruped. So roll it down, we're gonna hold it down, bend one knee, and then the other side. So just see what your body feels like today. See if there's any tension, any tweaks. And I want you to honor those. If something doesn't feel right, opt out of it. We're gonna walk our hands away from our feet, coming into our quadruped position. So first, just sink your breastbone down in between your shoulder blades. Now push the floor away. Think about pushing from your abs so your shoulders are nice and connected, and then sink down again. Just starting with a little shoulder mobility and stabilization. As you press, almost think about opening a little pickle jar and down. Last one, hold. Now push a little bit more into the heel of your hands, hug your abs up and in, let your tailbone round down and come into a little Halloween cat position. And then flatten out through the crown of your head. Let's do that again. So instead of just rounding through our spine, find that nice deep abdominal connection. Curl your tailbone down, pull your hip bones up. Imagine a suction cup being on your lower back, and then flatten and come back. If this doesn't feel good on your wrists, take your weights and use them. Or you can always come into or onto your forearms, right? A little forearm quadruped. And lift. And last one, we're gonna hold this. Tuck your toes under, squeeze your underbutt a little bit, press down into your feet and just hover your knees and hold. See where you're feeling the work and then tap it down. Yes, you'll feel this in your arms. Yes, you'll feel this in your shoulders, but I want you to concentrate on your abs. So press down, lift your ribs, curl your tailbone down with ease, squeeze your glutes and hover. And then tap, exhale, hover. Tap, exhale, hover. Once again, trying to find that hand serratus abdominal connection, right? So if you're letting your shoulders come up, you're probably feeling this a lot in your neck. So think of externally rotating, hugging your armpit muscles in, and then pressing mostly with your pinky finger side. Last one, come down. Now, make that same connection without the hover and reach one arm away from you. Shoulder blade draws down your back, and then step that hand down. Make sure that hand connects before you move the other side. Now the things we're thinking about, of course, that core stability. So we're trying not to wobble, but also your shoulder blade. I want you to think about your shoulder blade more than your arm. So you're drawing a diagonal line with that shoulder blade across to your opposite pocket, right? So it's not coming up, it's going across to your opposite pocket. So if you need to, think about just initiating that movement with the shoulder blade. The arm follows along, trying to keep that space between your shoulder and your ear. Last one. Step 1 foot back. Find that laser beam from your abs to your glutes to your heel. Other side comes out to meet it. One long line from the crown of your head to your tailbone. One long line from your tailbone to your feet. Now this might be where you are. You can also come onto your forearms. This might be where you are. And we tap. Tap 1 foot out, other foot out. 1 foot out, other foot out. If you need to, can you come onto your knees? Yes, absolutely. Still pulling your abs up and in. Give me just a couple more. 4, and 3, and 2. Lengthening through your ears. Last one, knees down. Press yourselves into a rest position. Opening up your armpits. Hopefully your heart rate just started to come up a little bit. Maybe create a little bit of warmth in your body. Grab your mini band, TheraBand, or running pants. We're coming all the way up. So go ahead, come through plank into downward dog. Push the floor away to wrap your armpits around your body. And walk your hands toward your feet or your feet toward your hands. Soften your knees, roll on up. So mini band, or once again, you can go ahead and wrap that TheraBand, or you can opt out of this. No problem. So, nice wide stance. And just make sure that you don't feel any tension in your knees. So think about your glutes, rotating your femurs in the socket just a little bit. And then lift your kneecap up your leg as opposed to sending it back, right? So you're co-contracting hamstring and quad. Now send your hips down and back and hold. And then bring it back up. Lifting all the way up, don't leave your hip bones behind. I'll show you on this angle. Instead of the knees just coming forward, we're sending our hips down, widening through our sits bones, and then squeeze and lift and come back up. Let's do that again. Sink it down, down, down. Bring it up. And notice how the tension in the band creates an environment where you have to kind of push into it just a little bit more. So keep that glute activation on. We have 5. And if your knees start to wobble, right, and they do this thing, slow it down. Think about glute. Think about the knee just tracking directly over your second or third toe. 3, 2 more. You're amazing. And we're gonna hold. So hold it down. Now just think about one leg. Look down at the knee. Slowly, let the knee start to internally rotate, controlling it from that glute. Now think about that glute rotating it, hold. Same side. So eccentrically controlling the internal rotation and then squeeze to press it out. If this doesn't feel great on your knee, don't go as far. Squeeze, 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 and press. Keep going. Allow that knee to slowly draw in, squeezing that glute to spiral it out. So we are working to stabilize when we hold, eccentrically load, and then concentrically. 2 more this side. And squeeze and hold. Last one, last one. Now, this leg has to stabilize, so make sure the knee doesn't sneak in. And just turn and look at your other knee as it slowly internally rotates, and then squeeze to press out. Now, if you start rolling out, onto the blade of your foot. That's your body's way of trying to cheat this a little bit. So think about keeping that big toe mound down, just activating the arch of your foot a little bit. And if the knee goes, whoop, you let go. Squeeze that glute a little bit more. Good. And once again, we don't want to feel pressure on the knee. So if your knee starts feeling pressure, change your position a little bit, right? We have 3 more, and rotate, and 2. Last one, hold. Make sure both knees are pressing out. Sink down an inch, keep pressing out. Lift up just 1 inch, great. Keep pressing out, sink down 1 inch. Yes, lift up 1 inch. Down, pinch your cheeks together just a little bit, making sure your abs are nice and controlled. And even though you're pitched forward just that little bit, we're not tucking or arching, right? We're in a neutral spine, even though we're not straight up and down, right? Keep that pressure out. We have 5 more. And 4 more. Send the tailbone down and away from you, like you're sitting in a chair that's slowly being pulled out from behind you. 2. Last one, hold. Now, when we step, make sure that yes, this glute is working, but drive from this foot. So you're just gonna step that direction, driving from this foot. Now only come in an inch. Now drive from this foot. Good, only come in an inch. So we're doing little monster walks, and boom. A lot of times we'll forget about the one leg, so we kind of come out of the work. So we're gonna squeeze, drive from that foot, and then only come in an inch. Drive from the foot, only come in an inch. If you need to come out of this or roll down at any point, do it, okay? Yeah. I'm glad we have an understanding. If you need a break at any point, can you take one? Yes. The answer is always yes. We have just a few more. 5, 5, keep pressing out. 4, almost there. 3 more sets, making sure your big toe mound still stays down. 2, last one like this. You're almost there. Come all the way up. Give me a roll down. Nod, hollow, and relax your back. Walk your hands away from your feet, coming into your plank or forearm plank. Now we tap, bring it back. So same move that we did earlier, but now we have more glute activation, yes? Keep it going. 5 more sets, back and forth, slow and controlled. And 3, and 2. Last 1, and back, press your knees down. Press yourself into a little rest position, rolling out your wrists, and we're coming all the way back up. All the way through the crown of your head, press yourself into that downward dog position. Hands toward your feet or feet toward your hands. Soften your knees, roll it on up. Widen your stance. Rotate, sink it down. Now, much like we just did with the step, we're just gonna take it from the frontal plane onto the transverse plane and back, but we're gonna just do one side. So one side, keep that knee over your toes so you are externally rotating through that thigh bone. Hip bones move. Good. And rotate and back. And rotate and back. A few more. 5, this leg stays still. 4, try to keep that core engaged. 3, 2 more. Last 1, bring it in, hold, sweep that foot up. Now brush that knee just out to the side, so frontal plane again, boom. Now as you do this, if you sink, or hike, it's going to be a little different. So try to keep that stabilizing leg still. Knee stay still. Glutes stay active. If you need to, hold on to a chair, kitchen counter, small child. No, they run around a lot. So whatever will help you keep your balance is great. Using your glutes here for 5 more. 4, 3. Now the only change is we're going to now, instead of just abduct, we're going to externally rotate. So now it's that transverse plane, right? Now as you do this, if your hips start to move, it's not the end of the world as long as this knee stays over the toe. But try to initiate the rotation from the glute first, and then at the end, the hips can follow for 4 and 3. Try to keep them relatively still for the majority of the move. 2, anybody else's glutes just on fire? Last 1, come back, stand all the way up, lift this glute up your thigh, tap, flex, hold, hold. Think about this glute stabilizing you for 5, 4, push that foot away, 3, 2, tiny little squeezes. Boom. Try not to lock out through your knees. 5, you are a champion. 4, 3, use your abs. 2, last 1, other side. So sink it down in your squat. Remember, we've got to have that nice wide stance. And we, instead of stepping out, we take it on that transverse plane. So rotating your pelvis, keeping your thigh bones stable. Rotate your hip bones, but not your spine, right? So your shoulders and hips go the same direction. The knee stays stable. Still trying to find easiness through your spine, using your back, trying to keep your big toe mound down, finding that little lift from your arch. Good. We have just a few more. 5, 4. This glute shouldn't hurt as much. It's nice and fresh. 3 and 2. Guess what? Last 1. We get to move on. So find that stability. Float that leg up, brush, and down. So we're not rotating yet. It's just all on that frontal plane, right? The thigh bone should sink down into the socket as opposed to hiking from the spine, right? So the reason the spine stays relatively still and stable is because the glute, yes, it's activating, but the thigh bone is levering in its socket rather than from the ribs. We have just a few more. 4, you can have your hands on your hips, countertop, whatever you, underneath your chin, so you feel real cute, whatever you need. 3, 2, now we add that rotation. So now it's a rotation rather than just abduction, right? Now, this side might feel a little different than the other. That's okay. If you need to, reconnect. And we rotate. Still use the glute to initiate. So the thigh bone is spiraling in the socket and abducting a little bit. So it's a coupled move. Few more. How's that stabilizing side feeling? So good, right? We have 5 and 4 and 3, 2, last 1. Bring it up, lift the kneecap up the leg, reconnect through your lower abdominals, tap that foot out, flex, push, hold, 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 try not to shift. Nice long line through your spine, and then 5, 4, tiny squeezes. Right from here, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Roll it on down, hollowing out through the front of your body, come onto hands and knees. Now you can always be hands and knees or forearms. Think about that suction cup on your lower back. Lift your deep abdominals and then widen your knees about an inch. That stabilizing glute should still be working. Now, float one foot up, squeeze, hold. Point the toe, squeeze a little harder. Flex the foot, squeeze a little harder. See what helps you connect a little bit more to your posterior chain, and then we just squeeze. Try not to let the pelvis initiate that move, right? It's the glute, that little underbutt. We just squeeze, 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 squeeze for 5, 5, 4, 3, 2 more. Last one, extend the leg, push that heel away, tiny squeezes with the lengthened lever. So once again, it's not about the spine moving. We are letting that thigh bone fold right where we normally would, right? So the leg that's on the ground, if you can feel kind of that fold, that's where I want that movement on the other side to happen too. We have 3, 2, last one, circle. Now, yes, the foot is moving. Of course the foot is moving, but think about it initiating from the thigh. Your thigh bone is stirring freely in the socket, still drawing your belly button in and up for 4, 3, 2, reverse, little squeeze across for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, knees down, press yourself into a rest position, allowing your neck and shoulders to relax. I have wonderful news. Other side. So find that setup, right? Try not to be in too tiny of a nugget. Try not to be spread out. Try to keep those knees almost directly underneath the hips. If you need, send them back a little, then squeeze the glutes to bring you right back. Extend the leg, bend the knee, squeeze, point the toes, squeeze harder, flex the foot, squeeze harder. See what helps you connect to that posterior chain more. Stick with that. And we do squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And just think about that thigh bone moving freely and then lengthening from the hip bone, right? So the hip bone stays stationary and you're lengthening through it. We have a few more. 5, 4, 3, and 2. And last one, extend the leg, push through it, tiny little squeezes here. So once again, it's not about moving the foot. It's about squeezing that cheek, letting them high five each other. They're creating buoyancy, right? Like little water wings. We have a few more here. 5, 4, 3, little laser beam all the way out through that heel or toe, and we circle and circle. Once again, the foot moves because the upper thigh bone is moving. 5 more. 4 more. Try not to let your head drop down. 3, 2, last one, reverse it. 5, 4, 3 more, 2 more. Last one, knees down, rest position. And then we get to take the band off. I know, it's exciting. So take the band off, unless you want to keep it on, in which case, great. And we're coming back into a plank. Once again, if you want to be on your forearms, you absolutely can be. Otherwise, hands underneath your shoulders. Think about that spiral. Push up towards the sky. Slide one foot out. Laser beam. Other side. Now fold one knee under. Hold. Rotate to the other side. Hold. Hold. Send it back. Bend. rotate, hold, hold, and out. Let that thigh bone fold, then rotate from your hips and back. Now remember, it's not just rotation through your spine. Think of, as you keep going, drawing your hip bones together, pulling your belly button in and up, and your obliques initiating this. So instead of thinking of one of the arms moving and getting all the rotation you can, think about just that connection through your hands to your obliques. And don't worry about the range. Small rotation. Almost there. One more each side. Rotate. Knees down. Rest position. Rolling out your wrists. We're coming all the way back up. Come through your plank into your downward dog. Soften your knees. Roll it on up. Grab your weights. Good. So the weights can always be gotten rid of at any point. Right now, shoulders draw down your back, pitch forward just a little bit, sinking your hips down and back. Now, much like when we did these on our knees, I want the thigh bones to fold. So first, tap one toe, hinge forward. Don't feel like you have to go very far. Squeeze and hinge back up. So you are moving your pelvis around your thigh bones, not your back, right? So hip bones move, pelvis moves, back follows. Now, if this is where you are today, great. Otherwise, lift that foot. Hip hinge, bring it on up. Hip hinge, bring it on up. Now, if you want more excitement, hip hinge, row, bring it up, press up, down. Hip hinge, row, bring it up, bicep curl, press all the way up. I'll show you from this angle. So once again, you can tap, hip hinge, row, bring it up, press, right? Hip hinge, row, biceps up, or keep that foot out. Now, when we row, think less about biceps, more about bottom tips of your shoulder blades, right? Trying not to let the chest pop. We're still sinking it down. Row, shoulders down, up, squeeze. Last one like this, hip hinge, row, bring it up, up, arms come down, hip hinge. Now, arms start to straighten, squeeze your triceps, shoulders down. Tap that toe back. Just bend at the hip and the elbow. Tap, I'll show you from a different side. So we're not moving our upper arm bone. It's shoulders down, straighten the arms, straighten them more, squeeze that tricep. And then let the biceps just kind of contract a little. And then reach down, reach. 5 more. You can tap or push that foot through imaginary pudding. 4, 3, still lifting your arch. 2, last 1, tap, squeeze, squeeze a little harder. Now, if you want, of course, you can get the glute to move the foot with the hands. 5, moving from the elbow, not the shoulder. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Go ahead, tap that toe, boom. Hip hinge, forward. Letting the crown of your head and your tailbone go in opposite directions. Squeeze up. So even the foot that is anchored to the floor, that knee should be slightly bent. So you can spread your tail feathers, squeeze and lift. Is it bad to have the legs straight when you do this? No. We just don't want to lock out, right? No locking out through into the knees. And If the knee is bent, it focuses more on the glute. If the leg is straight, it focuses more on hamstring and back. So we squeeze the glute, we sink the knee. If you want, lift the foot. If you don't want, tap it down. We have a couple more. And then we can add on row, bicep curl, press, bring it down, hip hinge, row, bicep curl, press up, bring it down, hip hinge, bottom tips of your shoulder blades, initiate the row, right? So if you think about the arms initiating it, right? It looks more like this. I'll actually show it from this position. If you think more about the arms, it's here. You start to get that internal rotation. If you think more about the shoulder blades, it's here. So you get that width through your collarbones. We have a few more. Width through your collarbones. Bicep, press. Almost there, boom. Bicep, press. Last one, row, biceps, press, bring it down, tap the foot, straighten the arm, knuckles reach down. So your shoulders come out of your ears. And we press and bend, reach and fold. So imagine you still have that band around you. You still want to press into it from the glute to keep that knee stable. We're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, hold, tiny little squeezes. Now if you want, add the squeeze of the leg. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it on up. Nice job. Relax your shoulders. We're gonna bring your knees, your weights to your chest. Lift one knee, hold. Now, tap the toe out as you bend forward, bring it up. This might be where you are today, which is fantastic. Otherwise, take it into a lunge, rotate, bring it back up. Now, when you're doing your lunge, if you try to be on a tightrope, it's gonna be way harder to lunge. Let your feet be at least in line with your sits bones, okay? When you sink it down, it's a rotation through your ribs, not necessarily your whole body, okay? So we sink, small rotation, bring it up, boom. Now, you have options. If you want more work, connect your arms into your abs, push the weights away, bring it up, down. If you want, push away. If you don't want, don't do it. 4 more. And up. 3 more. Still connecting in with your abs. 2. You're a champion. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to sweat a little. Last one. Hold it down. Tiny little up and down. Now, if you have knee issues or you just feel this in your quads, imagine sending your tailbone back a little. It's like your shoulders aren't really going over your knees, but they're gonna aim towards your knees, right? Just so that glute can help a little bit more. If you're too far up, the knee is gonna go forward. 5, sinking straight down. 4, 3, 2, other side. Yes, so we start with the tap. So hinge and tap, boom, and up. So be aware of what your knee is doing. You wanna lift it up with your VMO. VMO is this quadricep muscle. Hey, you guys, how many quadriceps do we have? 4, right? Good. Now, if you want, of course, Come into your lunge. Bring it up. Down. Triceps, of course, have 3. Biceps, 2. Now, if you want, rotate. Back, up. If you want, lift the foot. Rotate. Making sure that knee stays in alignment. Now, if you're ready, rotate, extend the arms, bring it up. Good. Rotate. Boom. Up. It might be a little trickier one side rather than the other. That's okay. We have 5 more. 5. And hold. 4. Almost there. 3. Lift and squeeze. 2. And up. Last 1. And hold. Tiny little lift and lower. Once again, if you're feeling this in your knee or just this hip flexor, pitch forward a little. Think about sinking straight down, not letting the knee come forward. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last 1, come all the way up. We're coming all the way to the floor. So find your abs, roll it down, set your weights near you, coming all the way down onto your back. Now interlace your hands behind your head. Elbows come into your periphery. Shoulder blades draw down. Now, think about your hip bones. Our bones can move. I want you to think about your hip bones drawing towards each other. And then inhale, relax. Exhale, draw your hip bones towards each other. Sink your ribs down, come into your first chest lift. Sinking the ribs down to lift the head, not levering from your neck. Hands come forward, behind your biceps femoris, and lift, hold, hands up, interlace, and down. Let's try that again. Exhale, come on up. Hands come behind your hamstrings, which is the word I was looking for before, but couldn't find, and could only find the technical term. Exhale, come up. Hands behind your thighs. Little bicep curl. Hands come up, up, up. Interlace and down. Last time, exhale. Lift. Bicep curl, hold. Hands come back behind your head. Now, shoulders draw down your back. Walk your feet closer to you. Think about those hip bones coming together. Now hook below your belly button, drawing in and up. Lengthen your back towards the mat. Lift your heels. Inhale, exhale, flex just one foot. Keep the knees squeezed together. Tap the toe down. Squeeze the knees together. Flex the other foot. Now this might be where you are today, and that's okay. I know that this seems like a small but fierce move. Now, if you want, switch your toes midair, right? Hopefully you're feeling a lot of work in those lower abs. If your back starts moving or your tailbone gets heavy, come more into an imprint. Now, if this is working for you and you'd like more challenge, inhale. Exhale, draw deep from your abdominals, squeeze your inner thighs together. Don't move your knees, flex both feet. And then tap, inhale. Exhale, zip all the way up from your inner thighs, pelvic floor. And then tap, 2 more. And then last one. I don't know about you, but it makes me tremble for 5. Hold 4, use your abs, 3, 2, 1, toes down, head comes down. Extend one leg away from you. Think about connecting it in to your ribs. Think about that pelvic floor. Press your sacrum, that triangular bone in between your cheeks, down into the mat. Now, from your ribs, push that foot away from you, just a little. See if you can stabilize that leg from that same place that you just found the work for that little ankle lift. And again, we lift the leg just a little, but we're stabilizing from the same place you just found. Now you can bring your hands behind your head. Push the foot away. And then let it come down. One more. Push it away. Now, push it away. See if you can stabilize and hold. Float the other leg to tabletop. Tap the toe down. Exhale, float it back up. Try not to grip through the front of the thigh, right? You're relaxing it. You've got a little bit of that glute on. You're pushing from your abs. And then this leg taps and taps. I don't know about you, but I am trembling. Now you can rotate towards that knee as it taps. And rotate for 5 and 4. 3 more. Almost there. Trying not to sink down on your shoulders. You're just lifting your sternum to the outside of the knee. 2. Last 1. Come back to center. Step the foot down, the head comes down. Other side. So find that hip bone connection, that deep abdominal hook in and up, and then your sacrum sinking down. Now lengthen from the hip bone all the way out, so your hip bone doesn't travel with the foot. So you're lengthening through your quadricep. Find that connection. Press it down, push the foot away, just a little. If it comes up pretty far, chances are the hip flexors are trying to do more work than the stabilizers, right? So that's why we're just thinking about pushing and supporting like we just did, rather than moving, right? We can always layer on movement, but if we don't have the support down, it's a little bit harder to control. 2 more. Last 1. Good, now hands behind your head. Come into your chest lift. Push the foot away, trying not to grip. So if you start feeling that grippiness there, bring the foot down, reconnect through the abs, squeeze the glute a little, push through the heel. And then we float the other leg up and tap the toe down. Float it back up. Lengthen the knee away from your face, letting the thigh bone fold in the socket, right? So it's like you have a helium balloon, allowing that knee to lift. And because you've got that lift, when you tap down, you have to kind of push from your hamstring a little bit. Now, when you're ready, we add that rotation. Rotate, back to center, tap, rotate, back to center. Once again, the sternum is just lifting towards the knee and back. We have a few more here. 5, 4, 3 more. Just notice if you're starting to rock through your pelvis. You can always take a break. Last 1. Come back, step the foot down, slide that other leg in. Go ahead, connect with your ribs again, and then press your feet into the floor. We're gonna hinge up. So hinge your whole body up, pressing your hands into the floor, squeeze your glutes. Now, first bridge never counts. I just want you to check in. Make sure that you're not arching and letting your tailbone sink. We want to scoop the belly, squeeze the glutes to get you there. Think about drawing the heels in towards you. Hinge halfway down. Squeeze and lift, hold. So if for some reason you have knee pain in a bridge, try widening your feet a little and see if that helps. If it does, that could mean that your outer quadriceps are a little tight and that you might need to roll or stretch them. No judgment, I also need to. 3 more. 2 more. Think about those heels coming toward you, knees sending away from you. Last 1, hold. Tiny little squeeze. Once again, that the thigh butt. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, hold, float one leg up and hold it. Hinge halfway down, bring it up, hold. That's 1. Hinge halfway down, keep those ribs connected. Squeeze and lift, that's 2. Hinge, squeeze and lift, 3. Making sure that the glute is what's initiating this, not your back. Last 1, hold, but hold for 4, hold for 3, 2. Step the foot down, reconnect, pressing the foot into the floor, allowing the thigh bone to fold in the socket. Both hip bones face the same direction. If you hiked, send that hip away. Hinge halfway down. Squeeze, lift, hold. Hinge halfway. Notice if this side feels different than the other side. Hinge halfway. Think about that heel pressing into the floor. Think about it dragging towards you. 2 more. Last 1, and we squeeze and hold, 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 finding that closed kinetic chain position. Step the foot down, roll it down 1 bone at a time. Bring 1 leg to tabletop, other leg comes to meet it. Now, if you need to, you can cross 1 foot over the other to kind of create a little bit of a relaxed position for your hip flexors. So if you have 1 hip flexor that likes to do everything, cross that leg over so it can kind of rest. Interlace your hands behind your head, come into your chest lift. Now, think about those glutes, and we just sink the belly button down, curl your tailbone toward your face, and then back. Now, you don't have to get a huge movement here. It's not about range, it's about activation. So just think about dialing your hip bones toward your face and back down. If you need to, physically dial them, right? Put your hands on your hip bones. Think about pulling them towards you and then back down. Think about pulling them towards you and back down. We have a couple more. 4 and 3. 2 more. Now all we're going to do is aim the knees towards the shoulder. So last one like this. And now the knees go towards the shoulder. Hold, come back to center. Other side, towards the shoulder. Come back. Again. Think about those internal obliques on one side, external obliques on the other. It's about allowing that one hip to lift to get to that side. So you have to lift one of your cheeks if your knees are going to stay together. 4, I guess technically you have to lift both of them, but you need to initiate from one of them. 3 more sets. 2 more sets. Last one. So we just have to go one direction, other direction, come back to center, head comes down. Now, keep those ribs nice and connected. Send 1 foot away from you. Push it so far away that it like almost wants to lever you up. Now bend the knees, press your hands into the floor, curl your tailbone towards your face, other side. Now, if you tend to really grip through your shoulders, instead of pressing flat-handed and allowing the shoulders to rise, widen your hands. And you can either let the palms stay up and just offer support, don't worry about going as far, or your hands can face each other, pressing a little with your triceps. We have 3, and curl, and 2, last set. So once again, try not to allow this motion to really generate a lot of change through here. This stays relatively relaxed. Now interlace your hands behind your head, come into that chest lift. Now push one foot away. Can you do better than that? Can you push it away farther? Can you push it away so far that it lifts you? Yeah, and then bring it in. And then other side, push, 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 and bring it in. Now you can either keep supporting your head with your hands, or you can bring your hands onto one thigh or one shin, push, inhale, exhale, switch, push to help lever you up. This leg is not just passive, it's also pressing into your hands. Hands are pressing down into the shin with your biceps, with your lats, and then the shin is pushing up from your hamstrings. Couple more, boom, and boom. Now you can interlace your hands behind your head and rotate, hold, hold, rotate, hold, pushing that leg away from you. If your shoulder touches your knee, it's not because the movement's coming from your shoulder, it's because it's coming from your rib cage, trying to keep that pelvis down. We're almost there. 2. Last set. Come on all the way up. We're going to come onto our elbows. So when we come onto our elbows, it's really tempting to kind of sink into our shoulders like slumber party shoulder, right? But we're going to push our elbows down into the mat to lift our chest. Now sink your ribs down so you're looking forward, right? So you might feel a little stretch through the front of your shoulder. You can always have your elbows out wider if that feels better for you. I like a little bit of width. Curl your tailbone towards your face just a little to help hollow out through the front of your body. Create a tiny nugget shape here. Now, a lot of times when we do supine spine twist, it's hard to feel. So this is going to be a version of supine spine twist. Pull your hip bones towards your face, sink your ribs back, squeeze your knees and ankles together. Let the knees go one direction just a little bit. If your top knee slid back, that hip needs to lift higher. Now sink your ribs back, 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 using that abdominal control, hold. Other side. So one hip sinks, the other hip lifts. Once again, if you kind of slide the knee, you've got to have it come up. So envision that you have something really precious to you in between your knees, and you don't want to drop it. And then the movement is being initiated from those obliques. We've already been working our obliques today. So think about when we allowed that hip to rotate, when we curled our tailbone towards our face, right? Same kind of concept. Couple more. Now, if you'd like more of a challenge, of course I can give you one. You can come to one side, hold, making sure nothing shifts, slowly start to extend your legs, and then windshield wiper them back, bend, reconnect, hollowing out through the front of your body, right? If you're like, what do you mean? Hot lava coming at you, right? Still think about those hip bones drawing towards each other. Still think about that lift of your pelvic floor, and down, and up, and lift, and down. Hug your knees in towards your chest, gently rock from side to side. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without hundreds. So we're gonna do a couple different variations to start. Pick your poison. So if you need to, of course, press your hands into your thighs to relax your back. Now there are several different things to focus on with hundreds. We're gonna start very slowly. Feet on the ground, hips on the ground, head, shoulders on the ground. Reach your fingertips towards your feet. Try to start pumping your arms. So all I really want you to do is make sure you're not popping your ribs as the arms are moving. So you are actually just working to stabilize your spine and your ribs against the force of your arms. That might be enough work. And if you have neck or shoulder issues, please feel free to keep your head down no matter what variation you're doing, okay? Otherwise, lift your chest, reach your fingertips towards your shins like somebody's pulling you. Arms nice and straight. or here, or here. When you start to sneak your legs away, push so far that it helps lift you up, right? We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push your feet away from you to help you come on up. Bend your knees and relax over your feet. We're almost done, but not quite. So go ahead. We've got one more plank. We're going to come onto our forearms, lengthening through the crown of your head, widen your feet, and we rock onto our side. So we're coming into a side plank. Now, yes, you're pushing your elbow into the ground. You're lifting your ribs. You're lifting your obliques. You're squeezing your bottom cheek. You're pressing down with that top leg. If you need to, you're going to be here. If you really need to, you're going to be here or here, okay? Now, keep your ribs and hips connected as you slowly rotate back to center. Other side. So once again, pressing up out of your arms, squeezing that glute, finding your abs, and then rotate down. Other side. Just back and forth a couple times. Feel how your body feels. You've been working hard today. Almost there. And then come back to center, knees down, press yourself into a rest position. Now suction cup your hands to the floor, draw your shoulder blades down your back, start to press into your hands just a little bit. Think about drawing the shoulder blades down your back, and then relax, bending your elbows. Now once again, suction cup your hands into the floor, let your lower back relax. Think about dragging the heel of your hands back. Shoulder blades draw down and together, and then start to lift, right? Trying not to just let your tailbone go up. Keep your tailbone pointing slightly down so we can focus on our mid and upper back and relax. Shoulder blades draw down, suction cup the hands, drag them toward you, widen through your collarbones, and back down. 2 more. And shoulder blades down, relaxing your back as much as you can. Last one. And relax all the way. Take your hands up and over to one side, and you can take that same side hand, wrap it around the opposite side hand, pull that wrist away from you, sink your hips away, and breathe 2 breaths. 1 more. And then up and over other side. And then come all the way up. We're just gonna do a couple little shoulder rolls. So first bring your shoulders to your ears, relax them down. 1 more like this. Now roll them up, down and back, and drop them down. 1 more. Bring your ear to your shoulder, drop your chin down, other direction, and back to center. And last one, and around, and down, and back. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful time. You are champions, and you inspire me every single day. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you soon. Oh, thank you, Lynn. It was good to have you. Danica, hi. Sandra, killing it all the time. Oh, thank you. You guys are amazing. Amazing. And Denise, hi, thanks for joining us. All right, have a wonderful evening, you guys. It was so good to see you. So good to have you. You're all superstars.